Hi guys, this is RLC321. I'm back again. This time it's going to be something a little different again. I'm going to be doing another tutorial. And I've always been trying to find different ways of doing different things, and like, because let's say, for argument's sake, reverse wash and candy effects. Normally these have been relegated to enamel and lacquer paints. I don't work with enamel and lacquer paints because my painting station and everything is all set up in my living room, and that's just too smelly. Even though I've got an extractor fan, I'm just not gonna do it. So what I'm gonna do is, I did do a test to see if you can do candy effects on acrylic paint, and there you see you can. And what I've done with that, gloss black primer from Vallejo, all acrylic, then used Vallejo's airbrush acrylic metal. Don't know why it doesn't want to focus in. Oh, compressor stops now. There you go. Aluminium colour. Then once that's dry, I sprayed it with Tamiya's Clear Orange X26, and that's the effect that it came out as. Not bad, if I may say so myself. Now, what about reverse wash? Reverse wash is where you lay usually enamel colours down, like black, then you spray your silver on it, or whatever colour you want, and then make sure you whatever colour you want for the eyes, and then spray it black again, but with a lacquer, with an enamel. Has to be enamel for the final coat. And then once it's dried, you get a cotton bud and just wipe away the black on the raised area. Now I've been thinking, can I do that with acrylic paints? So I've done a test. Yes, you can. Look at that there. This part here, this part, and these little bits here have all been done with acrylic paint. Alright, I made a mistake in that. Actually, accidentally put my cotton bud in there by mistake. I wanted just to have the outside edges, but hey ho. But again, what I've done is use the gloss black primer first, the aluminium, the clear orange, then I sprayed 3 or 4 coats of the Pledge multi-surface wax to give it a nice shine and to protect it, because once that's protected in there, it's protected. And once that's dried, I just laid a flat black along the top of it, and just before that flat black starts drying, get your cotton bud and just wipe away, and that is what it's given me. So yes, you can do it, and I'm going to try it now on this spare Unicorn Gundams piece, and see if I can get it to work. Now I don't think these cotton buds is going to be any good. I may have to get my smaller cotton buds so I can wipe it off. But just to show you the process, I'm going to do everything straight away from scratch. I'm not going to edit this video, but what I will do, if I get that there, is zoom it in a bit, and I just hope I can keep everything in shot. So we're going to be doing this bad boy here. So let's get just a little bit of gloss black in there. Oh, that's a bit too much. The only things you're not going to see me do is obviously what's it called? Cleaning of the airbrush. I'll skip over that part. So gloss black, as with everything, the light dustings. Eventually I'm going to get sick of saying light dustings. Just a light dusting on here. Give it a bit of a blow dry with the airbrush just to dry it off a bit. Then come over again with a bit more of the gloss black, just to give it a nice good coverage. Now, excuse me, ideally these steps you want to leave them to dry for a good couple of hours in between. I'm not going to be doing that, obviously. Alright, so there, I don't know if we can see that. Is it even going to focus this close in? I don't think it will, is it? Let me try zooming out a bit. Just a bit. Let's try there. And see if it's going to focus in this time. There, that's better. So there it is, all painted black. Now I'm just going to clean out the airbrush, so I'll be with you in a minute. Right, okay, so now we've got our black gloss coat underneath. Going to go with a little bit of silver here and just drop a couple of drops in our airbrush. You only need a couple because it's a very small part we're doing. And just going to give this a light dusting coat again. Oh, that's gone a lot quicker than I expected. So much for light dusting coat, Rob. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It will, honestly. Yeah. Right. Bloody hell, wasn't even in shot then. I don't even know if I was in shot with the other one then. I apologise if I wasn't. But we all know how to paint on black anyway. So I'm just going to let that dry for a minute. And while I let that dry, I'm going to clean out the airbrush again. Now I'm going to, just for this demonstration, I'm just going to have orange coloured eyes for the Gundam, just because that's out. That's what I've got out at the minute. So, I'm going to get my Tamiya that colour. I'm just going to get my stick and just put a couple of drops in here. As I said again, I don't need a lot of paint for this, but I need enough. And I'm just going to concentrate on the eye section with this. So let's make sure you're in shot. And obviously, depending on how deep colour you want, I need a bit more than that. It's obviously depending on how much more of the paint you put in. That should do. At least I hope that should do. Alright, let's try that. And let's give that another quick blast with the airbrush just to make it nice and dry. And we go over it again. And I think that should do. There, that should do. So as you can see, that's now got a nice orange tinge to it. Put that down, let that dry. Going to clean out the airbrush again. Now, just going to dry this with the airbrush just a try to get the process done a bit quicker. Now the next part is the important part, which is the gloss to help protect it. So I'm just going to let that dry for a few more seconds. I'm going to go get some smaller cotton buds, so I'll be back in a minute. Right, okay, I'm back. Right, so now is our pledge polish. Just get my little pipette, just put a little tiny amount in there, because again, I'm not going to need a lot of it. Now, oh, I've got my compressor up far too high for this, so I need to turn that down to at least 10 psi. Nope. And there we go. Why is that doing that? Right. Anyway, so again, very light dustings of this. I'm hardly pulling back on the sugar at all. I'm just giving it a nice even coat. Right, stop there and just give it a blast of air, let it dry off before we do the next coat. I'm not pulling back on the trigger yet at all. Just so you can see, I'm not pulling back on the trigger yet at all. Now I'm going to pull back a little bit more, just to get some little bit on there, dry it off. I'm hoping this works. Going for all this, and then it probably won't work. And some more on there. I'm going to use it until I finish up what I've put in here. It's only like 4 or 5 drops. No, it's not. It's a lot more than 4 or 5 drops, so I'm not going to use it all. Now, as I say, normally I would have the extractor fan going on as well. And I don't think some of this has been dried properly, but it'll be fine for this tutorial. A little bit more on there. And I think that should do it. So just again, apply some air just to dry it off. Right. Actually, I'm going to apply just one more quite heavy coat on here, just to be on the triple double safe side, because the trick to this is this pledge. Now let it dry. Right, tip the rest I don't need back in and completely miss the lid. That's a good one. Right, so let that go there. Put everything back. Right. Now, as you can see, I haven't really let it dry enough, but that doesn't matter. This is still going to work. I really do need to let this gloss coat dry first, these layers of gloss, so I'm going to stop the video now. I'm going to wait about half an hour. For you guys, it's going to be a few seconds. And then when I come back, we're going to spray Army Painter Matte Black, which I have thinned down, all ready for doing panel lining. And I'm going to just spray some of that on it, and a few coats to get it nice and black. And literally before it dries off, we are going to wash off the details. So I'll be back as soon as that's dry. Okay, right, back again with the continuation of this. Now this is now fully dried, or dried enough for me to do this with, and I've got my very small cotton bud. Now what I'm going to do with this, so to save me some time, the lid to one of my airbrushes, I'm just going to spray just a little bit of thinner in there, just so I can use it. And was going to get my flat black and just put a couple of drops into my airbrush. If I need more, I can always put more in. Turn my compressor down because that's a bit too high, to about 20 psi. And I'm just going to give this just air, just to get rid of any dust. And first off, just a light dusting over the piece. Give it a quick spray out of air, and then continue on with a bit more. Just get as much black on it as I can. Then give it a quick air dust, because I want it not touch dry. I just want it dry, but not fully dry. So there we go. Now I'll get my thingy, wipe some of that excess off, and then very carefully, don't know if you guys can see this here, I'm just going to very carefully wipe away careful as I possibly can. The eye detail. And then go over it with a dry bit just to dab at it, get some of that excess off. And let's do this camera as well. As I say, this is just to show you that it can be done, and you've got to, as I say, you've got to be quick with this for this to work. But there we have it. You can do reverse wash with acrylics. Now what I would do with this now is obviously go over it with some, once it's fully dried and cured, go over it with, oh, I've made got a couple of mistakes there, wiped a bit too much, too hard. You've got to be very, very light when doing this. I don't know if you can see that there. Let's see if we can see if it will zoom. Is it going to zoom? Don't think it will. There you go. You can see I've wiped a bit too hard there, and I've actually started showing off the underneath. But the other side is really good, and so is the top there. So yes, you can do reverse washing with acrylics. I've just proven that you can do it, and it works really, really well. So give it a try. If you want to use acrylics to do this, you give it a try, because as I say, if you don't, I didn't know if it would work or not, to be fair. So that's why I decided to do a test myself and to see if it will actually work, and it has, and I'm really pleased about that. I just saw this going all totally tits up on me. But no, it has worked, so I'm really, really happy. Really, really happy with that. But yeah, so there you go. That is how you can use acrylics for candy coats. Candy coat? Is it called a candy coat? Candy color? Candy? I don't know. And reverse wash. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, guys, and I will see you all soon. Take care now. Bye bye.